everyone, my name is Takama. In these videos I am sharing a wide variety of recipes that I make here in my kitchen, along with what I have learned over many years of cooking. So if you too enjoy cooking, learning and sharing, welcome to Kama's Kitchen. Hi everyone, welcome to the kitchen. Today I am making mixed berry breakfast cookies. These are super easy to make and they don't have too many ingredients, so you'll have them ready for breakfast or your lunchbox in no time. I actually got into making things like breakfast cookies and nut bars quite a few years ago now. I'd actually gone off eating breakfast cereal and I didn't know at the time it's because I was lactose intolerant. But anyway, I used to buy the nut bars and muesli bars from the supermarket and I didn't think anything of it. But as I came to care more about my health and nutrition, I realized that a lot of those bars are not quite as healthy as they may first appear. So I did what everyone does and I Googled it and I found a treasure chest of recipes to make your own breakfast bars. A lot of them were catastrophic failures, but quite a few of them weren't, and they have now become the base through which I customize and build on from to make my own breakfast bars and cookies. So I hope you too will enjoy this recipe and come to enjoy making your own breakfast cookies. So let's get to these ingredients. So our first ingredient is mixed berries, and I've used blackberries, blueberries and raspberries. These are from frozen, and just make sure that they are thawed all the way through, because if some of them are a little bit frozen, they'll continue to defrost in the oven and your cookie won't bind together very well or at all. And you can use whatever berries you like. They don't have to be just those three. And you can use fresh too. Fresh is perfectly fine. If you're not a berry person, you could use mango. If you're going to use canned mango, make sure it is very well drained before you chop it up, for the same reason as the berries. If there's too much moisture, the cookies just won't bind together. Yeah, that's that. All right, the next ingredient is banana. You'll need one large banana, mashed like that, all nice and mashed. I just mash it with a fork. I find that the easiest. If you don't like bananas or you're allergic to bananas, you can use 2 tablespoons of flaxseed, ground flaxseed, with 6 tablespoons of warm water, and let it sit for about 5 minutes and then give it a really good whisk until it gets all nice and gelatinous. What else can you use? You can just use egg whites. For this recipe I would say 3 egg whites of a large egg, and that's actually why I'm using banana and our next ingredient, because I don't have a legitimate reason to use any yolks and I don't want to waste them, and I don't want to cook food just for the sake of cooking food. That to me seems equally wasteful, so I am using an alternative instead. But if you do have something to do with egg yolks, yeah, you can use the egg whites in this recipe. So three egg whites from 3 large eggs. And that brings me to applesauce. You'll need half a cup of applesauce. And the reason why I'm using applesauce is to somewhat mask the banana. I don't want a strong banana flavor in these cookies. Although if you're going to go and use mango, you can probably just use 2 bananas rather than the applesauce, because that stronger banana flavor will go very well with mango. For myself, I want my berries to be center stage, so I only want a very subtle banana flavor, and that's why I'm doing banana and applesauce. Okay, the next ingredient is 2 tablespoons of almond meal or ground almond, and there isn't really a substitute for that in this recipe because it's not just about the almond meal, but it's about the flavor of it itself as well in the cookie. And the next ingredient is half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And if you don't really like ground cinnamon, you could use mixed spice. But I'm sort of guessing if you don't like cinnamon, you probably don't like mixed spice. You could use 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence or vanilla extract. But yeah, mixed spice or vanilla extract are really the only alternatives that I think would work for this recipe. Okay, the last ingredient is rolled oats. And these are just the traditional rolled oats. And you'll need 150 grams or 5 ounces. And yeah, don't get quick oats because they'll just turn to mush. Traditional oats will continue to hold their shape even when they are mixed with liquids. Right, that's it. That's all the ingredients. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients. That's not too bad, and the quantities are quite reasonable as well. So you'll also need a spoon, and you'll need 1 large or 2 small baking trays with baking paper on them. Make sure it's wax-based baking paper, otherwise your paper will stick to the bottom of your cookies and it will not be fun. I actually had that happen by mistake. I purchased unwaxed baking paper and I made some breakfast bars, and I spent nearly 45 minutes trying to very, very carefully peel the paper off afterwards, and I lost about 1/4 of what I'd baked. So needless to say, I was not in a good mood. And yes, make sure your baking paper's waxed. Okay, let's get into mixing these cookies into cookies. So at this point, you will need to preheat your oven to 390 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees centigrade, or if you're using fan forced, 180 degrees centigrade. Let's get mixing. So make a little well. If you are somebody who does not like to touch food, it'd probably be a good idea to wear food prep gloves. Put your berries in, sprinkle across your almond meal and your ground cinnamon, the same thing, sprinkle it across. That just helps it evenly. If you dump everything in the middle, then you end up with one cookie that's loaded with cinnamon and another cookie that doesn't have any at all. And that just makes sure everything spreads out evenly. Then we add our applesauce to our mix. And last, our banana. Now if you really want to, you can use a cooking spoon. That is totally okay. I just prefer to use my hands. And you want to now mix it together very gently because you don't want to break any of your berries, especially if you're using fresh berries or ones that are a little bit delicate like raspberries. You want to keep as many as whole as possible. And just gently mix it. Okay. I'm not going to worry about washing my hands because they're still going to get equally as messy. So now you need to get your baking tray and get a spoonful, place it on the tray, and I'll lift actually, and just press it down gently with your hand, and do that for all the cookies. Get a heaped spoonful into your hand, flip it onto the tray and press it down gently. Okay, well, I'm going to finish off my cookies, and when they're done, I'll be back. All right, well, my cookies are done. There we go. And they now need to go into the oven for 15 minutes. When the edges of them are golden brown and they seem firm to touch, they're done. I'd probably say the middle shelf of your oven would probably be the best place. All right, well, I'm going to pop mine into the oven and I'll see you in 15 minutes. Well, my cookies are done. My oven is off and they are now on the rack cooling. Here they are, mixed berry breakfast cookies. Yum, yum. They are. You're going to need to have them on the rack for half an hour to 45 minutes. You need to let the fruit cool completely before you store them. And as you probably already know, fruit does really heat up when it's in the oven. It makes 12 cookies. These cookies are to go along with breakfast or to go along with your morning tea or as an afternoon tea snack. But if you did want them as a breakfast, then the mix would make 3 very large breakfast cookies that I think would adequately replace breakfast. I think that's about it for there. One last thing. If you have any reservations about cooking without egg, as I said, mine have not been that long out of the oven. And here we go, cookie. And as you can see, not falling apart. It holds together just fine. If you put it into your lunchbox by lunch, afternoon tea, whenever you pull it out, it's still going to be cookie. And I guess that leaves me to say that I will never post a video of a recipe for breakfast cookies or nut bars, granola bars, muesli bars, any of it, unless I know it works. I have spent a lot of time and I've wasted a lot of money on recipes which clearly weren't tested. Yeah. Like I said, I've wasted a lot of money. I would not want to do that to somebody else. So like I said, I assure you, I promise you, any breakfast cookie, breakfast bar, if I've posted it, it works. So the last thing to do, one last thing, is our nutritional fact for the episode. I try to do 1 or 3 in every episode, and this recipe was so simple I didn't get the opportunity to fit it in. So I'm making the space for it now. So what is it? Well, it is cinnamon. This is a cinnamon, or a scroll of cinnamon bark, and that is where ground cinnamon comes from. And the species of tree is Cinnamomum cassia. There's also Cinnamomum vernum, which some people consider true cinnamon, but most of the cinnamon that we would purchase and find and eat is Cinnamomum cassia. So, along with being tasty and yummy and good in so many things, cinnamon also has, or the bark has, an essential oil within it, and that oil is called cinnamaldehyde. It is in no way related to formaldehyde. It is far better for us, in fact. It contains properties which are antiviral, antifungal, and antibacterial, so that's really good. It gives our immune system a little helping hand. It's also, the bark is a prebiotic, and it's really great for our gut health because it gives the good bacteria something really good to eat. So that is my nutritional fact for this episode. Cinnamon. I hope it makes you think a little bit about cinnamon in your food, in your life, how you use it. Maybe you'd like to use it more. And I also hope that you have enjoyed this recipe and enjoyed the simplicity of it, because it really is so super easy. And what you get out of it is something which is just so full of healthy nutrients as well as healthy fiber. It is low GI. That means a sustained release of energy. And it's also just seriously delicious. That's a good thing. I hope you found it informative and there's something that you can take away from this episode. So if you have liked this episode, please don't forget to click like. And if you have liked episodes in the past and would like to maybe like episodes in the future, please don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please do put them into the comment box below. I will do my best to answer any question you have. And that brings us to the end of this week in Karma's Kitchen. Thank you for watching, and may you have good karma in your kitchen.